that you've bonded with all of these years. So the question is not how I'm doing. How are you, my brother?
I'm not going to lie, Tammy, it's been tough, just knowing the impact he's had on everybody. But just personally as a father, or as a son, I should say, it's been a little tough. But we're getting through it, The entire family's getting through it.
Yeah, that I saw on your Instagram page that you thanked everyone for their love and their support. And when I saw that, I said, I wonder if he'd like to talk about his father and his father's legacy and some memories that the two of you have shared along the way. Can you talk to us about that, Sean Scott?
Absolutely. First of all, let me just thank everybody again for all the love and all the outpouring and all the support. Tammy, we've heard from people all the way in China and Europe and everywhere else. I mean, the impact has just been amazing. All the love out there. We thank everybody from all the Scott family to the Whisper Nation. We thank you so much for that. As far as, my dad and I personally, my dad was about me being my own man, first and foremost. And what I mean by that is that he wanted me to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. When you're going through it as a kid and your parents are making it challenging for you, you're wondering why and why are they being so tough on me? But later on, you realize how it benefits you. I'll give you a quick story. My dad, around 11th grade, maybe it was even 10th grade, I can't remember, but he had purchased me a moped. And I'm in high school at the time, right? So I'm wondering, why are you getting me this moped? I was embarrassed. I would literally ride up and down Slauson so nobody would see me. And, people knew who I was, and so I didn't want them to see me on that moped. But what he was trying to do, Tammy, is just, humble me and ground me and show me that you had to work for things. And I had a job he had just given me at Ralph's Grocery. And he wanted me to work that job first. And once I got that job, he then later on got me a brand new car, a Volkswagen GTI. But that's just one little snippet. That's just, that's one little snippet of who Walter was,
Yeah. And how did the music affect you as a child and your father kind of moving around? How was the parenting and your love for your father, how did that flow in the midst of him being the superstar that he was, Sean?
I'll be honest with you. For me, I was a kid. So it meant, a lot of late nights in the studio, sitting up, falling asleep in the studio, watching them argue, So you would sit there as a kid going, how is this going to turn in? How is this record going to turn into everything? I just heard my dad arguing with Scotty and Scotty arguing with my dad. I mean, what is this going to turn out to? And then, in one particular instance, they were trying to get my uncle to say what that means, and he really didn't want to do it. He thought it was really, really corny. And they took about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to convince him to say that. And it ended up going on to be one of their biggest selling records. So, that's just a little taste of what it was like. But it meant for some long nights in the studios. But it didn't take away from who he was as a father, Tammy. My dad was there for all 3 of my children being born. He was there for my college graduation, my marriage. He's always been present as a father.
Yeah. And now you can't just glide by a story, just because you know the story and you got the intel like it ain't nothing. Like this was a hit. You talking about keep on looking when they say what they got it, what that means.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's the part you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And so you're saying Walter wanted Scotty to say what that means, and Scotty was like, yeah, that's corny, I ain't trying to do all that.
Exactly. And it wasn't just my dad, it was the whole group that had to convince him to say that. And it went on to be their best record ever.
Yeah, and everybody always says what that means. That's what I remember about the
I mean, if you know them, even if you know them as twins and as people, you know that even though they shared the womb together as twins, they're polar opposites as people. In fact, I met with a couple of my father's homeboys that went to school with him the other day, who came over to grieve with us, and they were telling me stories about him in high school. And, he was student body president at Jordan High School. My dad was. And,
wow.
He was a pretty clean-cut guy. Everybody knew him on campus. But at the same time, my uncle held the dice game down in the bathroom.
Polar opposites indeed. Can we ask you, how is Lavelle and Scotty doing, Sean?
You know, it's tough for him. I'm not going to lie. My uncle and I and his wife, Jan, we were there all the way through the end. And it's tough. That's his brother before any of that. And all I can say is they're doing their best to get through it. But my dad asked them to continue on with touring and continue on with the Whisper brand. So he's committed to doing that, as tough as it shall be. And I'm going to be right there to support him.
Yeah, and how did your father die?
It was esophageal cancer, which is cancer of the esophagus. And it was about a 9-month struggle. My father's a very private man. We kept it extremely private. However, we did the best we could all the way up until the end. But I say all that to all the brothers that's listening right now. Go to the doctor. I know we as black men are reluctant to do that. Go to the doctor, get your checkups, do what you got to do. Tammy, we are in the process of identifying a donation site for cancer. Once we have that, I would love for you to share it to everybody on air if it's possible.
Absolutely. That's an immediate yes. Absolutely, Sean. So just give me a call. Let us know what it is. I will absolutely share that. Can you share with us, maybe if it's not too private for you, those final moments that you had with your father? Where were the two of you and what maybe was said?
I can't go there. I don't want to do that because he was such a private guy. Tammy, if I could, I would. But let's just say all 3 of his grandchildren and all of the immediate family were there.
That's a beautiful way. That's a beautiful way.
So
we will continue to pray for you. We will continue to pray for your family, the Whispers. And it's nice to hear that Walter wanted the group to continue doing their thing because we now still get the benefit of the music and we still get the benefit of remembering your father, Walter Scott, in the most major way, and that is through his music. We thank you so much for just being open to this conversation.
Absolutely, and I'm always available to come on or do whatever I need to do. A couple of other points I just wanted to make out, Tammy. Believe it or not,
of course,
the Whispers do not have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So, I'd like to reach out to KJLH or whoever's listening to help us with doing that. I think they deserve that after 60 years of music.
I would agree.
And believe it or not, they have no BET Awards. So, hopefully we can fix that too. And I'm here to just continue his legacy, me and his 3 grandchildren and my wife, as best I can.
Okay, you all hear that. Get on your social media pages right now and let the world know the Whispers do not have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and they do not have a Black Entertainment Television Award, a BET Award. The Whispers definitely deserve a Lifetime Achievement Award from BET. For real, the music that they've given us, the love that they've shared with us over these years, never once changed a member in the group.
Never.
Never once changed a member in the group. You know how I know that, Sean? Because I interviewed your father and Scotty and Nick when he was alive in Lavelle.
Oh, wow.
And they told me that. They told me that. We had the most fantastic conversation about, panic being thrown at them on the stage. And it was just a wonderful moment that I will never forget with the Whispers.
Now, you talked to my Uncle Scotty, and, he told me the other day, nephew, I'm good. We started out in Watts in the projects, and we've been all over the world. I'm good with where everything is. But I personally, and I believe all the fans feel, they deserve a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, at the very least.
We 100% agree with that. 100. All of us. All of us. The entire listening audience in Los Angeles. So we will definitely get on your social media pages, everybody, and let the world know that the Whispers deserve a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Thank you so much, Sean, for sharing moments with your father, Walter Scott.
Thank you, Tammy, and I'm always here.
And if you need anything, let us know.
Hey, blessings to you, Stevie, and the entire KJLH family.
Thank you so much, Sean.
Bye-bye.
Excellent. No.
I welcome you guys back on here. If you're new, consider subscribing, liking, and also share this video. So the family of Walter Scott, together with the management, have come out, to commemorate, to pay tributes, and also honor the life, the legacy, and of course, the legendary status of the legend who passed on just a couple of weeks ago, and that is the giant of R&B, that is Walter Scott. Walter Scott passed on, we all know, just a couple of days ago. Now the family, the band, the Whispers, have come out to release an immediate press statement that read: the official statement from the Willette Ballard marketing and PR coordinator for the Whispers, on behalf of the Whispers organization and the family of Walter Scott. It's with profound sadness and heavy hearts that we confirm the passing of Walter Scott, co-founder and beloved member of the legendary R&B group, the Whispers, on June that is 26th, 2025. They're saying that, Walter was a force of musical brilliance, and then, on June 26th, 2025, he passed on. And of course, he was a pillar of harmony whose grace and whose voice touched generations. His presence on stage was commanding and, yet humble, and his contributions to the world of music will resonate forever, from timeless love songs to unforgettable live performances. Walter was part of the very soul of the Whispers, and his impact is immeasurable. So on then we saw the son Sean also coming out, to post an interview, he held with one of the media companies, and of course he honored also his father, saying, talking about his great legacy with regards to the voice, the R&B, and of course there's so many songs they did together with his uncle. And of course he regarded him as a giant of music, and whose legacy is going to live on for years and years. The father, still within the statement, the father talked about there's so many people who actually have been spreading rumors and of course spreading inaccurate information regarding the passing on of Walter Scott, and then they said that people on social media should refrain and of course stop spreading information that is inaccurate, and of course all the messages of condolences, tributes can be shared via the Whispers official Instagram page, that is the Mighty Whispers. We are praying for the whole family, friends, the fans, and of course our thoughts are with the Walter Scott family. We are sending our deepest condolences, and of course the whole Whispers band, we are mourning together with them, because losing such a legend, Walter Scott, is really very, very touching and heartbreaking. Rest in power, King, and bye bye for now.